welcome back to Art Teacher on the Loose. Today I'm going to show you how to make some real cheap costumes because there are no excuses for not having school spirit. Come on! People ask me all the time how I come up with my crazy costumes, and they act like it's such an unfathomable, unreachable sort of thing. But I'm here to tell you, it takes probably about $10 and maybe an hour of your time, and you can have some pretty sweet rockin' outfits too, okay? So, here we go. Day one, we're supposed to dress like kids, all right? You've all seen kids, right? They have on their usually oversized t-shirt from an older sibling, and they usually have on like athletic shorts. I grew up wearing like little knit pants, sweatpant things, you know what I'm talking about? Yes. And the kids these days, they're all about their Crocs. Ready, set, here we go. So, outfit number one, I hit up the thrift store. We got a giant oversized purple shirt. Then I went and found some knit pants. Y'all, the retro ones with the little stirrups. We're gonna just chop those off. Then I looked out and I found a pair of Crocs. Isn't that right, Pickle? And on top of that, I'm throwing in a handful of my friendship bracelets, because what kid doesn't wear like 10 bracelets at once? The last part of this outfit we gotta figure out is what we're gonna do with our hair. And I don't know a single kid who doesn't come in from recess looking like they just went through the biggest tornado in the world. So I think I'm just gonna try and put in a ponytail and then just let all the fluffy bits fly, because you know what? Recess is hardcore and you gotta play hard, go hard. You got like 10 minutes after lunch, because that's the best time to run around. I can't do that anymore, I'm too old. Anyway, all right, stirrups are disassembled, time to put on our outfit. Perfect, now we're on to day two. Got this one done. $3, guys, let's do it. Our next day is pretty simple. Following the theme, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, every class got assigned a color. And I think they made a color for staff, but I decided as the junior class sponsor, I'm gonna go with the junior color because that's more fun. It's orange. Now, if you don't have anything in your closet that's already that color, of course I'm gonna tell you, hit up the thrift store, okay? It might not be a cute outfit, but you're gonna find that color. The only thing I didn't have that was orange was a pair of shoes. I bought these for $5 at the store and I started painting them orange. So let's get these finished up. Pretty cool for just $5. Lions and tigers and bears, oh my. Our next theme might sound intimidating, but we're gonna make it a little simpler by smashing them together. We're gonna make a liger, all right? So I got some fabric scraps from the thrift store. I got some like fuzzy looking stuff. I think this looks like a tiger if we use our imagination. I got scissors and I got hot glue heating up behind the camera. Let's get to it. Basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a lion mane with our fabric, and we're gonna add in some tiger ears. I also think I'm gonna figure out how to make a tiger tail to add to the overall effect. So I'm gonna start with a piece of this super soft, stretchy fleece stuff, and I'm gonna create a band that is the width or length, I don't know, math stuff. Where's that art? Anyway, this circumference of my face is what we're gonna measure out. And I'm gonna use that measurement as my base to add all my other fuzzy pieces to. I have made my piece a little bit longer than it needs to be because I'm going to be tying it under my chin to attach it to my face. And I've also made it a little bit wider than necessary so that I can make my lion mane very floofy and full. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this other fuzzy stuff and I'm just gonna cut out a bunch of different sized and kind of scraggly looking triangles to kind of represent the groupings of fluff, all right? So here we go. With a nice sampling of hair blobs, I'm now gonna lay them out on top of my little main headband thing in various lengths and shapes to create an organic fluffy look. I'm gonna do 2 layers because I made this band extra wide, so I'm gonna start by laying 1 layer, and then I'm gonna come back and lay a 2nd layer so that I get twice as much fullness and fluff. Once I have it laid out how I want, then I'm going to hot glue it all down. Now I'm gonna take some of my even smaller pieces and drape them forward, kind of creating like bangs for my fancy dancy lion. And once that's done, I'm gonna flip it over to the back and I'm gonna continue to build out from this piece that I have here to make it nice and full. Basically, just lots and lots of triangles gluing. Got it?
Originally, I was just going to tie the ends of my mane together, but I think because this material has enough stretch, I'm just going to go ahead and glue these ends together. This is the inside of my mane, but I think I'm going to go ahead and glue these ends together, and then I'll flip it inside out, and it'll just stretch around my face kind of like a headband.
With the lion bit done, it's time to move on to the tiger. Y'all, the tiger is gonna be a super simple bit, okay? We're gonna start with 2 circles, and then we have a rectangle, which I folded in half and curved to the bottom of. All right, so I'm gonna take my circle that I fold, I'm gonna fold that in half, and I'm gonna fold that in half so that the pretty side of the fabric is out, and I'm gonna hot glue that down right there. Then once I hot glue that down, I'm just gonna hot glue it on top of the mane. Whoop, we have one tiger ear, and then we do the other one, okay? All right, onto the tail. Same sort of process. This time I'm gonna fold it wrong side out. So I'm gonna fold it, I'm gonna put hot glue along my edge here, whoop, and onto this side here, I'm gonna fold it, and then I'm gonna flip it inside out. I'm gonna leave this end open because we're gonna stuff our tail. All right, here we go. But wait, some of you might say, didn't you say lions, tigers, and bears? Oh, it's about to get fun.
I don't feel super great, guys. The next part of this costume, unfortunately, Mr. Bear has to undergo some modifications. It could get ugly.
Here we go! For this part of the project, you're gonna need a pair of pants that actually fits you. You're also gonna need some shoes. I spray painted these, insert footage here. And then you're going to need a bear. This lovely bear, unfortunately, is the most expensive part out of all of my costumes. He was, let's see here. He was $30. And what we're gonna do with Mr. Bear here is we're gonna make him look like he is giving our liger a piggyback ride. Trust me, it's gonna work. What we're gonna do is we're gonna cut just below the base of his head here and unstuff his body. I have this lovely laundry basket we're gonna put our fluff in. Oh, I don't like this. All right, so now Mr. Bear looks something like this. We've left, oops, sit there. So we've left the fluff in his arms and in his head. Everything else we have deconstructed so that he is a deflated bear. Our next step is we're gonna kind of cut out the bottom of our pants here. I'm gonna still be wearing the waistband of the pants just as if it was my own, but the fake legs are gonna be kind of wrapped around the bear. And this will make more sense here in a minute, but to start, I'm just gonna cut this bit out. So the whole point is that the bear looks like he's giving me a piggyback ride. So we cut out that inside part of our pants here. I should be able to stand inside this space, so make sure you cut that a big enough spot for yourself to stand in. Because what we're gonna do is we're gonna attach the back of our pants to the bear's back. And then we're going to take the front of the pants and we're gonna attach it to the bear's neck. So it'll be something like this. I will still be wearing the pants around my waist, but my legs will be the legs of the bear, and the fake legs that we're gonna stuff with Mr. Bear's stuffing here in a minute are gonna go around his shoulders, giving the illusion of a piggyback ride. Before we glue the front of our pants onto the bear head, I want to make sure that the legs are correct because that's going to help us get the angle of the head right. I don't want his head to just like tip down. I want to make sure that's upright. So we're going to get our legs ready so that we can kind of see the full effect. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the end of the pants and I'm going to glue them onto these shoes. And then I'm going to stuff all the way into the shoes and the legs with Mr. Bear's previous fluff. So I've stuffed the legs. The real thing is trying not to get yourself cankles. That's, anyway. So the legs are stuffed.
Ta-da. Whoops. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hot glue the front of this to his head. So it looks like his head is sitting up. And in order to do that, I'm gonna have to do a little test run. So I'm gonna try it on first to figure out exactly where, probably mark it with a Sharpie, and then glue it down. So bear with me, I'm gonna get that done, and then I'll show you what we got going on. So after a lot of frustration and some trial and error, this is what we have. Now, as you can see, the legs just look really limp. So I'm gonna come back in with hot glue, and we're gonna gather up the legs where they would naturally bend and make it look more like I have knees. The other thing we have to figure out what to do with is the arms. I think what I'm gonna do is just hot glue them kind of to the sides of his head here, so it looks like he's holding on. So, we're getting there, but it looks rough. While our knees are drying in place, I'm gonna take the rest of the fluff, which, oh my goodness, there is so much, and we are gonna shove it back into Mr. Bear. This will give his stomach a little bit of floof and also his legs, so it'll feel more bear-like, because right now up top he feels very floofy and stuffed. Down below he's still a little too deflated. So we are going to add this fluff back into Mr. Bear, and then we'll do a final reveal. One giant stuffing mess later, we have Piggyback Rock Bear! Woo! Team this up with your liger and you've got lions, tigers, and bears. Let's do the next one. Woo! I know y'all were wondering when this laundry basket was going to come into play. Our school mascot is the Knights, okay? And I broke my laundry basket, as you can see right here. It's very broken. And so we are going to use it in creating some knight armor. We're going to use this broken laundry basket, and we're also going to use some cardboard. I have no real plan. I did Google a bunch of stuff on the internet. I drew some pictures. We'll just see how this goes. To make our chest plate, I'm going to be cutting out a bunch of different pieces. This is kind of like it laying flat, but we're going to cut out this giant piece. This will be the head hole. We'll fold it up. We'll add the decorations. It'll make sense in a minute. This is going to become the base of our chest plate, but y'all, I ain't that stout. I don't need that much room in there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna score our cardboard. That means we're just gonna make little cuts along the surface right over this area that I want to curve over my shoulders. And with those little scoring marks in there, it'll bend real nicely to create a curve, okay? All right, let's go. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut a little ways into this piece. This hangs down kind of over my torso, and I'm gonna cut a little ways in, and then I'm gonna score on the top. That's gonna give this piece enough flex to kind of fold around the entire body there. And then over these pieces here, we're gonna create some kind of armored plating to kind of come down over the shoulders. All right? Once you complete your scoring, then you can do some fancy like contouring, body shaping sorts of nonsense. So we're gonna hot glue our piece in place, and then we'll figure out how we're gonna sculpt the back side. Okay, so the back is scored pretty similarly to the front, but as you can see, it doesn't quite match up. I am not that skinny, sorry. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some extra cardboard pieces, I'm gonna score them a little bit to kind of fill the gap, however big that needs to be, and then we'll have a complete base that we can start decorating, making it look all fanciful and armor-like. As you can see, I've only hot glued my side panels on one side. This is because I need to be able to get inside the costume. So, when I put it all on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to belt it with my fancy dancy belt here, and that's going to hold my panels together. So, see? This part looks okay-ish to me. The shoulders here, we need to do some modifications. We're going to make some kind of cool shoulder cover things. But first, I'm going to take a lunch break because I'm hungry! The shoulder armor is going to be completely trial and error. Just like I've been doing, we're going to do a lot of scoring. So I'm going to start by just scoring this edge so that it curves nicely, and I can see how long of a piece I need to go completely over the shoulder. From there, then I'll probably end up
cutting a curved or scalloped edge to kind of create that armor piece, and then creating several of those to overlap together to create a shoulder. Here we go! To finish up this hot cardboard mess, we are going to add some kind of fluted or flared pieces at the bottom to overlap with our beautiful laundry basket skirt. So there'll be like little cardboard strips kind of coming down and overlapping with that to match those two bulks together. Then we have to figure out how to make a helmet. And goodness gracious, I don't even know where to start with that. Frankly, friends, I'm kind of at a loss as far as this whole night helmet thing is concerned. I was gonna figure out how to use this bottom of my laundry basket, but I'm not finding anything. So, I can't figure out how to use the laundry basket, but I did some more research online and I think I can make it out of cardboard. And I don't know how to explain to you how I'm gonna do it because I don't even know how I'm gonna do it. So, y'all just hang tight. I'm gonna figure this out. I'm gonna cut out some pieces and glue some things together. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I don't know. At this point, all I really want you to take from this is the fact that you can make a lot of creative stuff and you don't necessarily need to have a plan or a fancy blueprint, because I looked at, just poke myself in the eye with a marker. Anyway, I looked at a template online for a knight's helmet, and I didn't want to spend $12 on it. I mean, if you want to, you could do that. But the point is, you don't need a fancy plan to do things. You can just create things all on your own wonderful, awesome, creative brain. All right? Okay, I'm gonna draw out some templates and we'll see what happens. So this is my best idea so far. We'll see. I'm gonna glue these together and we're gonna see if it makes a helmet. So you know how I gave you guys that whole lecture about like using your own creative brain and coming up with a plan and making something, like you can do it? I'm gonna tell you right now, sometimes that's a real struggle and I don't feel like I addressed that enough. So I'm gonna tell you right now, this knight helmet that I created, we're gonna go paint it here in a second, was a struggle. And so I kind of gave up on filming my process on how I was making it because it was hard. But you know what, I made something. And I'm kind of proud of it. We'll see how it turns out with some paint and some decoration. But let's go paint that and our chest plate piece. Our final day is mismatch day. And judging by the name, I hope you can figure it out. Simply wear clothes that don't normally go together, okay? All right. The piece de resistance of this night costume is the broom corn from my yard that I'm using as a tassel. Let's put it all together and see what it looks like. Well, I may have lied to you about the 1 hour time commitment, but I definitely stuck to my $10 deal. All right, so having eliminated all excuses for homecoming dress-up days, I can't wait to see what costumes you create.